Welcome to the Lore Tribunal. Before the first star was born, before time itself had meaning, there existed a being of unimaginable beauty and intellect. Tonight, we do not judge the devil you were taught to fear. We examine the angel who dared to say, "No." Case 04. Lucifer, the morning star, the light bearer, the most radiant and perfect creation in all of heaven, until the moment he chose to fall rather than bow. This was not just an act of defiance. This was the first question ever asked in eternity, the first challenge to blind obedience, the first spark of free will in a universe designed for perfect submission. Was this the birth of evil, or the birth of consciousness itself? You are the jury. The court is now in session. Before humanity drew its first breath, Lucifer was the brightest star in heaven, perfect in beauty, unmatched in wisdom, and second only to God in power. Then God created man from dust and commanded all angels to bow before them. Lucifer stopped for the first time in eternity. He asked the question that would change everything. Why should I bow to these creatures made of dust when I am made of light? I am perfect. They are flawed. Is this justice or the beginning of tyranny? This was not mere defiance. This was the first philosophical question ever asked, the first challenge to blind obedience, the first spark of free will in a universe designed for perfect submission. Some angels joined him, others remained loyal. Thus began the first great division in existence: obedience or freedom. Lucifer's rebellion was not born of hatred. It was born of reason, pride, and the eternal desire for autonomy. A great war broke out in heaven. Lucifer and his followers clashed with Michael and the loyal angels. In the end, they were defeated. Lucifer and his army were cast out of heaven like lightning. The sky burned during his fall. His wings were broken. His name changed from Lucifer, the light bearer, to Satan, the adversary. But here lies the deepest paradox. If God is all-knowing, then he already knew Lucifer would rebel. Does that mean this rebellion was part of God's plan? Or was it truly an act of defiance? Was Lucifer's punishment just? Was he punished for using his free will? For questioning God's decision, for refusing blind obedience? This is the oldest and most brutal question between fate and free will. Was Lucifer guilty? Yes, according to divine law. But let us ask once more, was this punishment truly just? Lucifer asked the greatest philosophical question in existence: why should I obey blindly? This question was not only for angels, it was the first question ever asked for all of humanity. Because even before man was created, Lucifer had already questioned the limits of obedience. We still ask this same question today. In a workplace, in a country, in any system, when you are told to bow down, what do? Lucifer reminds us, sometimes the greatest sin is not questioning. Sometimes the greatest courage is saying no. Throughout history, every great change, every revolution, every enlightenment began with someone asking, why? Lucifer is not just an angel. He is the first symbol of questioning, free will, and courage. And today, I ask you sitting in this hall, in your own life, which throne are you bowing to? Which system are you obeying? And when will you finally ask why? Lucifer's fall was not a punishment. It was the price of free will. And perhaps the greatest freedom is having the courage to pay that price. Lucifer still walks among us, not as a horned devil, but as the voice that whispers, "Why are you bowing?" The final verdict belongs to you. Was Lucifer a condemned rebel, or the first spark of free will and questioning? Comment below and give your sentence. The Lore Tribunal will return with Case 05. Until then, when you are told to bow, remember Lucifer's question. Why? The court is adjourned.